Well, first of all, because we don't get along with each other.
Yeah, I think so.
We don't come as a community. Most of the times, women are against other women. Men don't compete.
Yeah.
Men get along no matter what. This is why I have a lot of male friends because I like their way to be a team.
Same thing with me.
Totally,
See?
I love Sabina.
I
really love
totally
Sabina.
agree. We are part of the
We
same
have so
team.
many things. We have so many things in common. I love you, Sabina.
I prefer
I love
male
you
friends.
too.
Mental load, and I was like, that talks to me. That talks to me because that burnout. I'm usually somebody very dynamic, very optimistic, very. I have so much of energy, and I was not understanding what was happening with me last year. I really was not understanding that. What is wrong? I feel like I just want anything. I don't want to go out of my bed. I don't want to do anything I used to like to do. So I was not.
But what's strange is that I don't know. In at home here, my husband does everything. He does really everything. So I wasn't really. I had nothing to complain about, but I needed to redefine my identity because at the same time you just feel like, okay, you're just a mother and you're just a wife and you're just what you do as a job. I needed to redefine who I am, and I didn't want that definition to come from the society. I needed to define myself, and I started having that, and yes, I really enjoy it, but it took me some time. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody, depending on from where you're with us. So welcome to the second part of our debate. We talked last week about the women mental load. So we are here today to talk about the same thing, but we will insist on the consequences. And we are grateful to have our excellent ladies here. I'll give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. Go, ladies.
Well, I would leave some space to Felicitas first.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Dolly. Good evening once again. I'm Félicité Efan. I just want to use the name that you find on Facebook, Félicité Efan, Felicity in English. And I am administrative assistant. I am 40, mother of 2 boys. And I'm really glad to be here today.
Oh, wow. We are happy you're here today with us. Sabina?
Hello, everyone. I'm Sabina Vigilanza from Italy. And I'm formally a project manager, but I like to define myself a people manager. Okay. Because I'm into the field of intercultural mediation and human resources as well. So that's what I manage: people, situations, programs. And I'm a mom too. I'm 38, and I'm a mom of a beautiful 12 years old boy. And I'm extremely honored to be here with you, girls, to share this important video and experience with you.
I would like to say, we're around the world, girls.
We're definitely around the world.
Okay. Really, thank you for being here today. I'm so excited. I should say I'm overexcited. We have Felicité from Cameroon. We have Sabina from Italy. I mean, we have the whole world around us. So thank you, ladies. Felicité said she wanted to share with us something about her experience with women mental load. We hope people are going to see how these, because most of the time when we talk of women mental load, people feel like, no, it's no big deal. It's not something important. It feels like it's something very abstract whereas it's a reality. Women are facing it. It's an issue. It's a serious matter, not only a social matter, but a medical matter as well. Because we also talk about public mental health and from women mental load, you have many other issues that can come out as consequences. And we feel like, okay, when talking about it, maybe we'll help people not only to know more about it, but maybe to think about how to prevent it, to prevent that. So this is what we're going to do here. It's not like there is someone here having the perfect idea to share. We are just women trying to make the difference. So let's do it by what we have to say. So Yes.
Exactly. Okay, so should I start or?
I don't know. Savina, would you have something to say? I think you watched the first part of last week with Mireille, and we had Mireille from Belgium and Bibiane from Canada. But we talked about all the generalities about mental load, the definition. That's what we did. It was quite general. Since today we're going to talk about the consequences, I think it's quite concrete.
Yeah, the consequences can be, well, health consequences for sure, as you were mentioning before with Felicite. Definitely, well, my job as a project manager is considered one of the most stressful jobs in the world, especially in the United States, because there's a lot of mental load on us. And being a woman and a single mother, that means that there's a lot of pressure and stressor on my shoulders. One thing that I can tell you is that I have felt overwhelmed so many times in my life. And last year, I ended up at the hospital because the stress level was super high that my body just had to react some way, and probably in one of the worst way possible because I risked my own life. And for some aspects, I'm kind of thankful for this because it gave me new energy and a totally different new perspective. Have learned to set boundaries way better. And I went back to ask for help because one thing that is extremely important to spot, in my opinion, is that we need to have help. There's nothing wrong with that. That means that you are powerful, strong, and conscious enough to ask the people around you or some psychologist, some counselor help. That's crucial to me. And I'm so thankful to this psychologist because she's shown me a practice that it's called, well, it's a form of training that you do through breathing in a specific way and training your brain to build a specific connection related to specific words so that your body will be able to shut down for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, as long as you need, as if you are taking a long break or you're just sleeping a whole night long.
Oh, wow.
And recharge your brain, your energies quickly. The only thing is that you have to practice this thing every day because you have to train yourself and your brain. It's just like a muscle, you know, to build the muscles, you need to go to the gym and train. Yeah. Same thing goes with this practice. And you have to force yourself to do that every day. It's not that easy because you will be like, oh, well, I will do that later on. Or, well, I have to take care of my son. No, it's your time. It's like a therapy, a medical therapy with no medicine.
Wow.
And this is very helpful. And another thing is physical exercise, taking 1 hour and just go take a run, take a walk, listen to music so that your brain won't be like da 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 da, thinking and overthinking. No, you have to shut down everything. It's just you and the whole world around you and the beauty around you.
Let me ask you something. Do you think as a woman it's easy to learn to, like, is it easy to put yourself first?
No.
As a woman?
It's not easy at all. But
because I feel like in our DNA, there is something written like, okay, you need to sacrifice yourself, all has to work because, you know, you need to make it work. So putting yourself first becomes a training.
You feel guilty.
Yeah, you feel guilty. Exactly.
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 But that's not the DNA. I don't think it's the DNA. It's our culture. Yeah. They told us that we have a true woman has to sacrifice for the family, for everybody. Why? I build my family with another person. We are both
But
together to create our family. So why should I sacrifice everything about me? First of all,
Because
because
society expects too much from us.
yeah,
Too
and
much.
once exactly, and they want us to feel guilty because they're like, you were born a woman, so that's what you have to do. Do you want to go extra miles? Then it's up on you with
yeah,
all the consequences. But no, just because before being a mother, I'm Savina and I'm a woman. And the better woman I am, the better mother I will be for my son
Oh
or for my
God.
daughter, for my kids.
exactly.
But is it easy to reach that level of consciousness? Hell no.
No,
It's extremely difficult.
it's difficult because even unconsciously we put ourselves so much stress. Yes, maybe because our
Personally,
culture, the society. I'm a woman, I'm supposed to do this.
yeah.
I'm a woman, if I take time for myself, I should feel guilty. And I really loved when you said you learn how to set boundaries. Could you tell us more about that?
Well, again, the thing that made me change my mindset is the fact that I was hospitalized in a situation where I risked my life. Basically, I'm going to share that with you.
Okay.
Part of my colon, my gut, um, got broken in a very tiny area. So the risk when your gut get this type of issue is that you will basically die. Thank God I have been bullied because I'm not a skinny woman and I live in a country where either you are skinny perfect or you suck. And then after that terrible night, I was like, you know what? I thank you, body, and I thank each part of you and all the extra kilos that I have because it's actually the fat that I have in my body that saved me because it covered the injury, the wound,
Wow.
and I didn't die. So who cares? You're gonna look at me for that? Who cares? I love myself. This is my principle. So that's how you learn how to set boundaries because you change perspective. You're like, my life is more important than anything else. I was like, I'm not gonna see my son anymore. I spent the whole night set up. If I think about that now, I feel like crying and laughing at the same time because I was sending my son messages, trying to show him how much I love him and how much I wanted him to, remember that his mother will always love him and be there for him no matter what. But inside my heart, I was like, I'm not going to see him again. So that's how you learn how to set boundaries because you're like, you know what? I'm not going to let anything, even relatives, even your family members, destroy your peace, your boundaries, and who you are.
And you're right. I can remember even in the airplane, when you take the plane and they explain to you how to do in dangerous situation, they say, yeah, you need to take care of yourself first.
First,
Yeah.
before helping
First, even
somebody
if you
else.
have a baby,
The baby.
you attend to the baby in the second moment.
Exactly.
You
So
come first
that's how
because
it is.
if you're not okay, you can't take care of the baby.
Exactly.
Even during a crash. And that makes sense. I mean, it's tough to think we have to learn how to put ourselves first.
First.
Yeah, because they always tell us to sacrifice because, we give birth. So we have to give everything. I gave birth. I don't have to give anything else. I already gave birth.
You manufactured life.
Right. So what
I like
else
the
do you want me
sentence.
to do?
I like the sentence, manufactured life.
Life manufacturing machine.
Right. That's going to be my mantra.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's how it is. It is difficult, I know, but that's why we have to support each other. We have to break the chains of fear, regret, guilt, mostly guilt, because that's something that we face since we were born.
Mm.
And we have to free ourselves from that sense.
Oh, really,
But I
thank you
understand
so
it's
much.
difficult. Felicity is from Cameroon. I don't think it's easy to be an independent woman in Cameroon, just like it's not easy in Sicily.
Exactly. And it's really funny because when you were talking, I saw so many common things, and I was like, she's Italian, I'm Cameroonian, but there are so many common points. It's very amazing.
But
It's
I'm
really, really.
Sicilian, so formally I'm African. I'm considered an African. I'm just stated. That's it.
It's really, really funny. So many common things that you have to sacrifice. You are a woman, you are expected to be so many things at the same time. And I was like, oh, really? It's just like same reality. It's really, really interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I myself, when I moved to Europe 10 years ago, yeah, I realized how at the end of the day, there are so many common points on being a woman in whatever part of the world you live. Because when you talk of maybe domestic violence, you talk of women mental load, you talk of so many other issues like women's rights. Look, something happened in Italy recently. A girl was raped, and the judge, instead of sending those boys to jail, was like, yeah, the skirt she was putting on was too short. I said, oh,
Yeah.
so I'm guilty even into this kind of situation. I was raped. How can I be guilty? And that's a sentence. So at the end of the day, because sometimes you think, whoa, in developed country, let's call them that way, things are very different. Yeah, things are. Maybe into the sense that women have more things to say. That's true. But at the end of the day, there's still much to do. I just feel like as women, we are like a minority. Even if at the end of the day we are half of the world's population.
Right.
But how are we still a minority on this earth? How?
Well, first of all, because we don't get along with each other.
Yeah, I think so.
We don't come as a community. Most of the times, women are against other women. Men don't compete.
Yeah.
Men get along no matter what. This is why I have a lot of male friends, because I like their way to be a team.
Same thing with me.
Totally.
See?
I love Sabina.
I
really
totally
love Sabina.
agree. We are part of the same team.
So many things. We have so many things in common. I love you, Sabina.
I prefer
I love
male
you
friends.
too.
Women are so, no, that's true. Always in competition.
Which is even against the nature, because in nature, women don't compete. It's the males who compete for the females. We just took it upside down in our society. And when you mentioned about raping, there was a lesbian lady who just blew my mind, because she was like, it's not the way a woman appears or how sexy she is, because I'm a lesbian, I like women, still I don't rape women.
That's
So
it.
it's not the way they look.
Exactly. Very
Many
good
times,
example.
I've been volunteering and working with refugees from Africa, and 99% of them were guys, young guys. And they were talking about women in a very poor way. And I was like, why are you talking like that about that? She could be your sister. But even if she's not your sister, that's another human being. Why? So most of them actually didn't even think about that, because when I tried to, break the structure that they have from their culture and put it in simple terms, they were like, oh my gosh, you're right. See?
We need to educate the society.
Yes, and we need to get along with men, because if a man rapes me, it's not my problem. It is your problem as a man.
Why does society at the end of the day make it my problem? How
Right.
can a judge say, no, I'm guilty because my skirt was short, because I was outside at 11 p.m.
Or because I
He's a
didn't
human being.
fight too much, or I didn't scream too much.
We see many men go around topless. Have you ever heard of a man being raped because he was topless?
No.
Nope.
There's something wrong. But maybe Felicity wanted to say something about your own experience with mental health. I felt like you wanted to talk about it before.
Yes, exactly. Just to add something to Sabina was saying concerning rape, why men don't feel guilty is also, I think, because usually women are the first people to say to the girl, why were you wearing this? Sometimes women are the first to point out the victim and say, why were you wearing this? Why were you at that place? Why were you there so late? Usually, among the people feeling pointing out the victim, they are women. Sometimes men are even, they feel more uncomfortable with that than other women. No, you were not supposed to wear that. You were not supposed to. No, it's not an excuse. So as Sabina was saying, we really need to get together and really now.
Women blaming other women.
Exactly. We should.
There is an association in Italy called Centro Antiviolenza. It's a kind of center house where they welcome women victims of domestic violence. And they ran up a study, and what came up was quite terrible, because they said when we talk of women victims of violence, we forget the other part of the violence being inflicted to women by other women. And the rate was, I think, 35%. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Women being violent towards other women, be it physically, be it just with words, be it psychologically. And you made a good point, Felicite.
Yeah.
But is it out of education? How do we explain that? Yes, I think so.
Let me take an example concerning my personal experience. I have brothers. I have only brothers. I have no sisters. So I grew up in such a way that I am the sister of my brothers, and I am also like the mother of my brothers. And please let me tell you, I have 3 elders and 2 younger brothers. But I grew up like that. So even till now, even when I gave birth, so I have to take care of my 2 boys, and I have also to think about all the problems of my brothers. And some days I'm just like, I'm tired. They are grown-up men. I have my own problems. But as you said, I feel guilty, and I say, they are my brothers. They don't have any other sisters. So sometimes I'm like the mother, and I can tell you, the first elder brother, we have 11 years between us.
Wow.
But sometimes I can make him say, why did you do that to your wife? It's not correct. And the guys listen to me. That's the thing, the very most funny thing. They all listen to what I say.
Which is good. Thank God.
So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good, but sometimes not good, because this is a real picture of what we were saying before.
You're just
how the society expects women to be.
So they have their own wives or spouses, but you are still there. And you take care of the problem of their kids. You really get involved, even emotionally. And you cannot just let go, you see. So sometimes I just think about it and I say, it's just the culture. Because I remember my late father. I have a late brother. Unfortunately, the 3rd elder brother died already. And I remember when he was still alive, he had a problem My father was like, just help him. You have to do this. Just go with him to do that administrative procedures. And I was like, I had the same issue and I went alone. Nobody was with me. Why should I go with him? He's my elder brother. He knows the place. He's literate. I mean, he has, and my father was like, you know, you are more courageous, you are more dynamic. And I was like, okay. That's all. Yes,
it's exactly what we were saying before.
You can do your things alone. You know, you are like that. And I was just like, I could not say anything else. But you see, so you just have to do it, to be there for them, because that is what you'll be taught.
Yeah, but I think today we can make the difference by how we bring up our children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that with my boys.
How do we bring up our children today?
Exactly. I'm really trying to, because the first one is 16 and the second one is 13. So they are both teenagers, and I really, really try to tell them now. Even concerning some serious issues like marriage, that a marriage is two people. It's not like when I got married, because I'm divorced, they will tell me, no, it's the woman. The marriage is only on the woman. You have to do this. Your marriage is a success when you, the woman, you do this, you do that, you do this.
Yeah, when you sacrifice.
Yeah, but it's not one people, it's two people. And I'm trying to tell that to my kids. If you do, even when I was talking to my elder son concerning sexuality and all those things, I was telling him, you do a baby, both of you will do the baby. It's not only the girl. So you two have to take care to make sure that if you have a sexual relationship, you should take care. You should take all the care so that you don't have a baby before time. It's not just, no, it's the girl thing. No. Both of you are responsible.
We need to get into sexual intercourse. It's
really, really important. It's both your responsibility. So don't get into sexual intercourse without knowing how it goes, all the risks, all the consequences. It's not a game. Sex is not a game. There are consequences, so you should know all the information. And don't just say, no, the girl should know. She should know how to calculate her periods and things like that. No. You should know. And I taught him how to calculate the periods of
okay.
Yeah, my first son, yes. But no, it's not a game. Don't just see the movies. No, it's not a game. These are all the things you are supposed to know on the body of a girl. And these are all the consequences. So don't just know the girl is supposed to know how to. No, boy. Both of you.
Yeah.
So even the marriage, everything in the society. So we really need to.
Yeah.
There's something interesting that I was reading about mental load and a study that they have done in the United States on couples, same gender couples and traditional couples. And there's something that was very interesting because in same gender couples, there's less mental load on both sides, no matter if they are women or men, which means that they established since the beginning the rules and they share the responsibilities in a more equal way. In a traditional couple, that's something that doesn't happen. This is why I say it's cultural. And just like Felicite was saying, yes, sex is definitely, and the consequences of sex is something that have to be managed properly. And one thing that is very simple, but most people don't even think about that. Men are fertile every day of the year for the rest of their life. I'm not. So who is the most responsible on that?
Man.
But who is taking contraceptions, contraceptive pills? Women.
No, I'm fighting. You know what? Since the beginning, when I've noticed in the United States, because I've been living in the United States too, and since the day I've noticed that they had contraceptions for men, oh my gosh, I've been like, you take it. Why should I mess up my hormones and mess up my body? Because it's dangerous for my body.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the
For
truth.
what? For you? No.
I shouldn't go traumatize my system when you can do something about that.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's cultural again.
It's
As
culture.
I have a sociology background, and I can tell you that it's definitely a cultural issue. Even in Africa, there are places like, I think in Ghana, there is an ethnicity that where women used to have more power than men. Even Tuareg in northern Africa, they can decide to kick their husband out of the house.
Yes, in many cultures in Africa, you still have that. Where you have matriarchal societies.
But even in East Africa.
Yes.
Which is interesting because at the end of the day, yes, as you said, we give birth. So we are powerful. And we are fertile like 2 days a month, 1 day a month, which is a very tiny time to, to make this miracle happen. But we're still able to do that.
The gap is too short, but then you need to go to the gynecologist to have it certified, and you say, wow, and men, why should it just be like that? I tend to go for a vasectomy. No, this makes me less a man. I feel like a man. So why?
As if all the manly comes from there. The rest is like, no, I'm not a man anymore. No, it's not like that. It's not my breasts that make me a woman. I'm a woman.
Exactly.
When you thought of sociology, I thought about this thing I read yesterday. This is an American sociologist, Ali Hochschild.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
You love him? Okay. He termed women's domestic labor done after work as the second shift. But the mental load had no shifts at all. Because people get confused when we talk about these things. We talk about domestic labor, which can also lead to mental load out of domestic labor. That is a concept. There's a second concept about real mental load that has no shifts. It can be done before, during, and after work, or even during time that should be spent sleeping.
Right. That's why we don't sleep. And we go on sleeping deprivation.
When you talked about learning how to just shut down with your system, shut down with your brain, because yes, that's it. Even at the moment of sleeping, your brain is like this. Let me think about the doctor. Let me think about the parents meeting. Let me think about I need to go to the mall. I need to do this. I need to.
Mm-hmm. And this is why it's a training. It is called in Italian. In Italian, we call it training autogeno, which means it's a training that you do on your own because you force yourself and your brain to shut down.
Okay.
The brain is extremely powerful. How do you do that in a house, in a family environment? By locking your door. You know what? I'm going to take my 10 minutes. I'm not here. Don't even look for me. I'm not here. But I have to later on. Just just create a space in your house, or it's really like if you have to take a medicine or if you have to do some medical therapy, what do? You just take some time, do what you need to do.
Yeah,
it's the same thing, and it's very powerful. Think about this. I'm able to endure this training for no more than 15 minutes. But every time I do that, it feels like I've been sleeping 3, 4, 5 hours. And even when I'm outside and I'm stressed out because I'm driving, there's traffic, it's congested, and I get overwhelmed, I tell myself these words, these keywords, and I feel calm because my brain has already built up this connection. So every time I think about that word, my body can feel that same feeling.
Wow. Yeah. And that's it.
And it saved me. So yeah, it is powerful. The power of the brain is amazing.
Yeah. It's amazing, really.
Definitely. And
okay, go ahead, Felicite. I wanted to read something with you, but I wanted to share something with you. Caroline could read after.
I was saying it's really, really interesting what we are discussing today, and I really thank you for inviting me, because that subject, I really, everything she was explaining, even Sabina was explaining, I really saw everything I encountered since last year, because I made a burnout, and all those things she was talking about, I really, really see everything. And it led to I had to stop working for last year 2 months, November and December, and this year also March, April. Yeah, end of March, April, May, and it's even June, and it's really, really serious. The way your body just, everything just switch off. It's like everything switch off, your mind, your body. And you really need to learn, because finally, I am lucky because I work for an organization which has serious regulations and policies concerning that kind of issues. So they put me into connection with the psychologists. They put so many things in place for my well-being. And I'm really lucky, because all women cannot have that. So, and one of the things we were discussing with the psychologist is how to stop, to switch off.
Wow.
They gave me some songs to listen when I want to sleep, because I could not sleep at some point. I could not sleep anymore. So you can listen some Zen music, relaxing music to sleep. And you should, because I stopped sports. I really like sports, but I had to stop because I was just like, I don't want anything anymore. I don't like anything anymore. So I had to go back to do sports again. I like to read. I had to go back to read, to really train as she was saying, train my brain to go back to reading, listen to music, to enjoy it, taking care of myself. As she was saying, take time for you. Just take time to, is it a recipe? I know, Dolly, you like to cook. If you like to cook, just do a small recipe for you. You cook, you eat, you drink good wine, you do it for yourself. And it's just take that time to learn to switch off and take time for you, and just, it's really, really important. And I'm really trying to, because I'm still in process, I'm really trying to train myself, my brain, to switch off from work and from even other personal problems, just to take time for me.
Yeah, I think it's a lifelong training, because since we are empaths too, and we come from families that have put a lot of pressure on us, maybe because they truly believe that we have better skills. I'm not saying that they do that for bad reasons, okay?
Yeah.
But we need to train ourselves first, where we need to reprogram the way we communicate, for a simple reason. I was thinking about the family and the stress and the pressure that our families put on us, right? Sometimes they just do that because they truly believe that we are so well skilled that we can handle that. Some other times, people around us do that because we grew up in a toxic environment, and it can happen too. Just because they are our family, that doesn't mean that they're perfect and good. Sometimes it can happen to have a toxic parent or with toxic traits or characteristics. So when she was saying, "Oh well, help your brother because you're doing that on your own," well, we need to use communication in the same way, in the same efficient way. Like, for example, thank you for thinking that I'm so well skilled that I believe that he's strong enough and he can do that because he has amazing qualities, which means do that on your own. But I'm telling you in a very polite way, so that you will feel like I'm appreciating you, which is true. But that, in the other hand, it means you're grown enough. Or another thing, okay, you know what? I'm gonna cook dinner for you because you know you're tired, but you need to tell me how to do that. But if I have to tell you the steps, that's stressing and that's overwhelming.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
instead of saying or responding in an unpleasant way, we can use the same communication level. Like, you know what, I trust you, and I know that whatever you will do is going to taste perfect because you put so much effort and love. I know it is
Mhm.
stressful, but at the end of the day, it saves us and our health.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that.
And
Yeah.
don't think that I managed all these skills so perfectly because I'm still on the way and I make a lot of mistakes. Sometimes I don't leave, but then I have the skills. Okay, I have all I need to. So I'm still in the process, just like as Felicita was saying, we are still learning and it's a lifelong learning, lifelong training. But compared to other women, we have taken a huge step ahead, and
Yes,
that's
that's true.
crucial.
That's
Excellent.
true. Let me share this with you. It's on the website theconversation.com about mental load. They say a lot has been written about the mental load over the past 2 years, with many confusing the mental load with household labor, just as we're saying, including cleaning, cooking, caring after children, or planning tasks involved with childcare. But the mental load is so much more. In our recently published research, we defined the mental load as a combination of two types of work or labor: cognitive labor and emotional labor. The cognitive aspect of the mental load involves the scheduling, planning, and organizing required to support the smooth operating of families. This type of work ranges from organizing a play date to planning dinner. We argue this cognitive work becomes a load or mental load when it has an emotional element. For example, when there is worry or stress attached to the task. Some have described list making as the mental load, but list making isn't always stressful or emotional. And importantly, list making has a finite beginning and end. But once cognitive tasks like list making take on an emotional element, like worry about whether Nana will like her present, anxiety about how relatives will get along at holiday dinners, and stress about feelings, talkings while finishing work, then it becomes the mental load. Now, I think we all agree with that.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in this picture, what I can see, it's all framed for women. All what is described here, and if we should take in consideration the fact, the pandemic, we could see the consequences of the pandemic on women's life.
Exactly.
We could see it clearly. At
Yeah.
least I'm going to talk about the Italian society. We exactly saw what it was to be. It's like in time of crisis, the first rights that need to be sacrificed are women's rights, women's well-being. And we keep asking ourselves why, but maybe now we should acknowledge this fact and make decisions.
I try to change things.
Yes. You were saying before, Savina, you were talking about women that may not have learned or maybe realized what they are into. But I think, yeah, this has got something we do not only with education, but also with culture. Look, there are people stopping yourself from being their own priorities. Yes,
Yeah, that's
because she
true.
feels like, okay, if I do that, I'm a failure. I'm failing to be a good wife. I'm failing to be a good mother. I'm failing to be a good woman in this society. I'm failing to
Yeah,
my duty because that's what she has on mind. I should talk about myself. It took me so many years to realize that I needed to become my own priority. Yes, because one day I sat down, I said, well, I'm a wife, I work, I'm involved in so many projects with many other women. But who am I? Who am I? I mean, how do I define myself as an individual? Who am I?
Right.
And through that question, I could set some boundaries, but that was a process, a very long process. It all started this way. Let me share this with you. I told my husband one day, you know what? From now on, I will have my own time. This is Dolly's time. Yes, I need an hour for myself.
Yeah.
And during that hour, I can do whatever I want to do, but it will have nothing to do with not you as a husband or my children or the housework, not the kitchen, nothing. And even if I do cooking, because you mentioned cooking, yeah, I love cooking. That is a passion. But I realized cooking is becoming a stress therapy for me because when I'm cooking, I don't know, I feel so relaxed. It's
And you
like
know
some people
why?
go clubbing. There are people when they go clubbing, they go to nightclubs, they feel so relaxed. Okay, when I cook, it's like I've been to nightclubs.
Savina wanted to ask a question. Why you
Okay.
feel
Yeah,
relaxed when you cook?
I was saying, you know why you feel so relaxed when you cook? For one simple reason. For one simple reason. When you cook, you focus on something else. So all the rest is in the background.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way.
Think
To
about
me, it
that.
was like
When you
a
cook,
club.
you focus on the ingredients. You have to chop that, fry that, stuff that. You don't have time to
Wow.
think about, oh my gosh, my husband, oh, the gift, oh, the
Yeah.
gift. No.
Yeah.
And you feel relaxed. Like when I cook, I also turn on some music, especially Brazilian music, so it makes it even more, fancy. But I think, well, I don't know if it's easier for me because at the beginning it wasn't easier. But all this, as far as my experience, comes from a simple thing. I was raised in a family where there were specific rules, specific timing. You had to finish your schooling at this age, then do this, and do that, and
Get
all the rest.
married.
Right. Guess what? My life is completely upside down because when I was planning to do my training in Chicago at the School of Sociology, I got pregnant. And I had like 1% chances to get pregnant. Nothing. But I got pregnant. And I was planning to marry my father's son, my son's father, I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, well, I was scared. I was so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, my life is over. Nothing that I have planned is going the
It's
way
going.
it was supposed to. Oh my, I'm a failure. And my father, when he noticed that I was pregnant, he told me, you're a failure. And I was like,
Oh,
wow.
I
wow.
But I was like, you know what? Okay, let's keep pushing. So I was pregnant and I kept going to college. I brought my newborn at college. He was like a
Mm.
mascot. Everybody in my university
wow.
knew my son and loved him.
Mm.
Then I was like, you know what? Let's change date for the marriage because I'm pregnant. I don't want to do that now. I don't want to rush things. Getting pregnant is already a huge change for me. So let's take it easy. And that was priceless because then I've noticed that the one supposed to be my husband wasn't ready to be a father and wasn't ready to be husband. And you cannot force a woman or a man to be something
Exactly.
or someone they are not, or you will lead to consequences that can be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's see, let's see. Then I've noticed that it wasn't ready. So I was like, you know what? Keeping the baby was my decision, but getting married, I don't have to. I don't have to. There's no responsibility on my shoulders beside what people think. But who cares? So I came back in my hometown that has a very strict mindset and very traditional. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, he didn't get married yet. She didn't get married yet. Oh, but she's from a good family. And guess what? That's something very scary for most people. My son is mixed. So they were like, what? She's coming from a great family. She has been such a bad girl. And
Yeah,
I was
because today
like,
being a single mother is like,
Yeah.
yeah, we are all bad girls, but who cares? At the end of the day, I'm alive because I think that if I would have married my ex right now, I would be 3 feet under,
hmm,
and also my son.
yeah,
So I'm proud of taking that choice. That wasn't a choice. To me, that was the only way to save myself.
wow,
So it was difficult, but then I'm so proud of myself. Sometimes it's the changes that scare us so much. But as soon as we are brave enough to take even a little step ahead, everything comes to be much clearer
hmm,
and you become stronger. And whatever has happened in your life, that's meant to be for you to regain more strength, more wisdom, or just to focus on something else. So is it easy? No. Is it necessary? Yes,
it
always.
is. It is necessary because I can remember how better I started feeling when I decided to make time for myself. It's just to finish a part of the story I was telling you before you
Mhm.
had that question. So I told my husband, no, I need time for myself. And it's a non-negotiation way. I need time for myself. I'll create time for myself. You know what? I decided to go walking because I have hormonal issues. So I always have weight problems. And even if I don't eat anything, I still have this weight problem because it has got to do with my hormonal system. But going for a walk helps me at least even to feel better. And you know what? Wow. During my walking hour, I just realized, it's like this was a journey, but a journey to myself. I was not heading to someone, I was heading to my own self. And during these walks, I I began to record everything. Oh yes, when I was 14, my dream was to become this. I wanted to do that. Because I decided to create some time for myself where I go and search inside me. And that was so, I don't know, it was so marvelous. When I came back home one day, I told myself, you know what? I need an additional time. 1 hour is not going to be enough. And he was like, wow, you're beginning to love this time a lot. Yes, I really enjoyed it. And this is how I could call many other ladies. We were together in this program on the other page. And I suggested to them, ladies, we need to learn to have our time. Let's create a girls' tea time. And this is how the girls' tea time came up. We will call each other. Are you free now? I'm about to go for a walk. Okay. Everybody, phone, everything. And this all girls' time. And this became a routine. And yeah, 5 years later, I'm still on it. And I realized that creating time for myself makes me feel better and helps me give the best part of me to order. It helps me being like a good mother, a good wife, a good worker, a good project manager, a good whatever you want, but it comes from inside you, and you just need to be okay. And you don't need to feel guilty about that. But I felt guilty. Yes, sometimes I felt guilty. We went to the sea with some friends. At the point, I asked my friend, but Francesca, I don't know, is it normal? I'm here and I don't know. I'm not worrying about my husband or my
And that's
children.
okay.
I don't know. I don't miss my children. Is it okay? And she said, it's okay. Why should you feel like you should miss them necessarily? I said, no. I feel like I'm not really a mother. Why don't I miss them? She said, but yeah, because you
Because
decided to create time
in
for
our
yourself.
organization, we have what we call a mental health first helper. So when you have this kind of issue, you first contact one of the mental health first helper. And during our discussions, she was asking, can you say no to somebody when you have an urgent task already? Can you say no, or even say, can you wait a minute? Can I do that later? I say, and then when I was thinking of it, I say, oh no, I always say yes, 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 yes. So these are things we should also learn. Just say no, firmly say no, or can say, please, can I do that later? Can you wait a bit? We should also learn that. Yeah.
Okay. Really, thank you. This was an amazing debate. We discussed so many things.
But now, can we do a summary of the summary of the consequences? Because there are so many consequences.
Many of them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Well,
now the first one, I can see the first, if I take my example, when I had my burnout, the first thing is just that I cannot, how can I place it? I cannot recognize myself. Because I was saying to Savina, I am somebody who is optimistic, somebody who's very dynamic. I really like to go out. I like to discuss with people. I like to do sport. But when I started notice that there is something wrong, I didn't want to go out of my bed. I didn't want to do the things I used to love, all the hobbies I have. So the first consequence is just you don't recognize yourself. I think psychologically, emotionally, you don't recognize yourself. And another consequence is, of course, is the health. Because people cannot imagine that when you have a problem of problem, some people don't really think that it can affect seriously your body, but it does. It really does. Because I remember that I was not feeling good. I had to go to the hospital so many times. But when they do the exams, they cannot find anything, only anemia, white blood cells, the level was low, red blood cells, the level was low, but nothing really like a disease that, just like that, anemia and all those two other things. But you are not feeling well. But I remember that I have a stomach pain. I cannot sleep. I have headache, serious headache. At some point, they could not disappear. And physically, you have those consequences. And even on the social plan, you don't want to see people, you just want to stay. You don't like this anymore, you don't like that anymore. And for sure, when you are working, no matter if you are a housewife or not, the way you do things, I mean, you are no more if it is in the work, even your how can you say it in French, Dolly, tes performances. Do you say performances also in English?
Yes, in English, yeah.
Okay, your performances are no more good. So all those consequences, they really, really impact your life, your everyday life even. And the problem is, people don't always understand. Because I remember once I met one doctor, because the doctor I used to see went to do his specialization. So I met a young lady. She could not understand. She was just like, because I've taken vitamins, I've taken iron, le fer. I've taken so many things. Did you drink this? Did you drink that? I say yes, for months. I've been taking so many vitamins and iron and calcium and so many for months, but nothing's changed. So I think it is psychological. And she was just like, it's another doctor who had to tell her that, no, I really think it is psychological and we really need to take another way to manage that. So I had to see the psychologist. I have to see, to discuss so many ways to recover, go back to sport, listen to music, relaxing music when I have to sleep. And it works, especially that relaxing music. And I have to download it. And just don't stay alone. Don't stay in your house. Try to travel. Try to visit your friends, your brothers. Don't stay alone. Try to read. So it was like, just even when you watch TV, just look for a TV program that is funny. Don't look a movie where you will start crying or something that will make you think of why is this word like this? Why is politics like this? No. So much things that you think are simple but are very, very important. So there are very, very big consequences.
Yes, definitely, especially in the, well, not only the psychologist part of the healthcare, but also the body care. Because as you were saying, you were suffering of stomach ache. Brain and stomach are so connected. Every time you have something that worries you or concerns you, your stomach will start running.
Exactly.
And you will develop migraine. Like I suffer from migraine. In the last month, I have developed that. And guess what? Again, that type of training and relaxation helped me to get through it without the medication. Because sometimes the medication doesn't even work.
Mhm.
And they don't work because, as you were saying, you can take a bunch of vitamins or whatever, but if that's not the issue, it's not going to get away. You won't get over it. You just have to work on yourself. And it's a long journey, and I'm sure that it wasn't easy for you, just like it wasn't easy for me, because you have to face a lot of things. But that's part of it. You can just take distance and be like, okay, this is the situation. Can I handle it, or how I feel about that? That's where you learn how you truly are. Because most of the times we don't know who we truly are.
Exactly.
It's our family who told us who we are, or the society.
Yeah.
But you need to look inside yourself and be like, okay, wow, I can do that. Or wow, I've been able to do that. That's amazing. Brava, bravo. Good job.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't do that. We have to cherish ourselves, because that's one thing that I also tell myself. Never be harsh towards yourself, like, oh, I'm stupid, I've been able to do that. No, 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 no. We make mistakes. That's okay. But never call yourself extra bounds, telling you that you're stupid or you're not capable of doing that. No, it's okay. You may do something else. But again, we need to heal ourselves in this society from centuries and centuries of, wow, damages. It's not going to be easy, but we have to. We carry our mothers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers bound. And it's like a chain that either we carry on or we break. And it's still painful. No matter what, either we break it or we carry it on, it's painful.
So, no, really, thank you for sharing all your experiences with us. You really gave us this great opportunity, and would like to thank you. Thank both of you. Thank you, Felicite. Thank you, Savina. And we really hope people get to know more about mental load and how it manifests.
It was really a pleasure. I thank you for enrolling me in this program. And I'm also grateful to have had the chance to meet Felicite, even though we are so far away, but we are so close emotionally.
Yeah, definitely.
And that bond is priceless. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing. And this program is going to be a blast, no matter what. I think I've shared that with you 2 times. And no matter if you will reach billions of people, or just 100 or even two people and change their life, that's amazing.
But that's the most
That's
important part of it, because it doesn't really
true.
matter how many people you reach. It's the kind of impact you create in that single person you've been able to reach.
Exactly.
And that's it. It really makes
Exactly.
sense. No, really, thank you. Thank you. You are the one giving total sense to this program. And I know people are going to appreciate this video, and they're surely going to ask about you people. Felicite is a traveler. So at the moment she's there, but maybe in 2 months' time, 3 months' time, you'll find her here. So I'm sure there will be an opportunity to meet each other physically.
I know. That would be great. That would be great. You know, Sicily
Okay.
is very welcoming. So
Mm. Thank you, Dolly.
Oh,
It was a
thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you to both of you. And hope you attend other programs.
Yeah, we will.
WoGo, because there are other programs that are open. So feel free to join us into those programs.
Okay, noted.
well, for sure.
Okay. See you, ladies.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.